So when we talk about, I told you that we were out looking for the Japanese aircraft carrier force out in the Pacific and couldn't find it. You know, and they had gone north and attacked us from the north. Yes? Okay. So with that, what we're going to see here, guys, and I'm going to show you some of this movie here today. This is a torpedo bomber. They're going to use high-level bombing, torpedo bombers, and also dive bombers. Okay, 353 aircraft in 2 waves. So the first wave will have 191 aircraft, and they will achieve complete surprise. We are not prepared for this. Now, because they're using these torpedoes in a harbor, not in the open ocean, there's a chance that the propeller on these would hit the ground and stop them. So they actually built little boxes, open air boxes around these propellers for these torpedoes. And you'll see that in the movie, okay? When you see the torpedoes, there's a little box around them, okay? I got a couple pictures. This is an aircraft carrier, the Kaga. Obviously no planes on that one, but this one actually taken shortly before the Japanese are about to lift off to attack Hawaii. So this is some of the details of what happens. Now, guys, you're in paradise. Let's say you're serving in the Navy, or ladies, you're a nurse in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. It's December. It's Saturday night. What are you doing? Going out and having a good time? Yeah. So what are you doing Sunday morning before 7 a.m., before 8 a.m.?
Sleep.
Probably sleeping. Okay, there's not a lot of military exercise going on a Sunday morning, so people are sleeping in. Now, the island is on high alert. Nothing for me. All right. The island is on high alert, but nobody was really expecting this, okay? So as I said, 191 aircraft in the first wave. And then an hour later, 70 more planes, okay? And you can see some of the numbers here. It's actually more than 150 American warplanes are destroyed. Remember, I think I talked about it with you guys. If you're doing a bombing run, the first thing you want to do, if you want to take out enemy aircraft, if they can take out these aircraft on the airfields, then those planes can't get in the sky to shoot them down. Does that make sense? Okay, so they will attack the airfields. They're going to attack Battleship Row, 8 out of action, 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers. And then the number of dead here is roughly 70 civilians and 2,300 sailors. And Army and Navy personnel will also be killed. I give you some details here that I don't have up in the notes. So the Japanese had 31 ships. Okay, I gotta find. Okay, here it is. All right. So as far as the dead went, Navy lost 2,008 sailors, 710 wounded. The Army lost 109, 69 wounded. The Army 218 killed, 364 wounded, and 35 civilian wounded besides the deaths. So some of the ships were totally destroyed. Have any of you guys been to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii? Been to Hawaii? Okay. You'll see this in the movie, the USS Arizona, which is a battleship, will be hit. There will be a bomb that goes through the deck of the ship. And that bomb will go off inside the ship where the ship's own bombs are. So there's like dozens and dozens of bombs in there, and this one bomb will explode all of those. Follow me? The Arizona will capsize. And so there's a lot of sailors that are inside the ship that can't get out. And so they're unable to get these men out. So this becomes their grave. and they built the memorial over the top of the USS Arizona there in Pearl Harbor. So it still sits at the bottom of the harbor there. Okay. So the Arizona and the Oklahoma were destroyed. Target ship Utah was destroyed, and 2 destroyers, the Kissena and the Downs, totally destroyed. But many of the ships were sunk, beached, but they were able to repair them. They were salvageable. That included the battleships West Virginia, California, and Nevada were all repairable, and a mine layer, the Ogalla, was repairable. Then you had damaged ships. Battleships Tennessee, Maryland, Pennsylvania were all damaged but repaired. Cruisers Helena, Honolulu, and Raleigh repaired. Destroyer Shaw repaired. Seaplane Tender Curtis and repair ship Vestal were all okay, but damaged. Aircraft, 96 Army planes destroyed, 128 damaged. Navy, 92 destroyed, 31 damaged. So with the Japanese, with 350 plus aircraft, 31 ships, what did they lose? The Japanese lost 29 planes. In the movie, you're going to see this. We have African Americans on the ship. We have a segregated military at this point, guys. Okay, but the African Americans that served on the ships were oftentimes worked in the kitchen. They were cooks, maybe maintenance, that sort of thing. Well, one of these cooks was a guy named Dory Miller. And as his ship became under attack, the captain was killed. It was total, complete chaos. He got on an anti-aircraft gun on his ship that he's never used before and shot down 5 Japanese planes. Okay, his name was Dory Miller. Okay, he won the Navy Cross, became a hero. He's played by Cuba Gooding Jr. in the movie. Okay, so they lost 29 planes, a large submarine, and 2 midget 2-man submarines they lost. So total deaths for the Japanese included 64 Japanese, and then an unknown number of people on the large submarine, which, between 30 and 50 men. So they lost about 100 men, okay, compared to what we lost. Now, the damage done to our fleet would take months to repair, okay? Roosevelt goes in front of Congress the next day on the 8th, in which he says, this is a date which will live in infamy. The Japanese Empire has deliberately attacked the United States without warning, that a state of war now exists. He asked Congress for a declaration of war, and they will grant it. It's quite an emotional day in the U.S. Congress when the president goes there on the 8th. Okay, so we will declare war, and it will be a long road back for the United States. And remember, we're going to focus on Europe first, and then the Pacific. The American people they are awoken. Okay, as Yamamoto, who's the Japanese admiral in charge of Pearl Harbor, attacking Pearl Harbor, said, he said, "I'm afraid we have awoken a sleeping giant," and that is the United States. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to show you as much time as we have left of this movie. How many guys have seen it? Pearl Harbor? Okay, just a couple. And I did start that movie last night.